1984, 85, 86, and most of 87, Mike lived in my apartment here in Manhattan, and he would sleep on the couch. And then he'd become a top 10 fighter. And then he became the #1 contender. And then he became heavyweight champion of the world. So to come out of my bedroom in the morning, and there on the couch is the heavyweight champion of the world, and my friend, it's like having Willie Mays or Mickey Mantle sleeping on your couch. It's the most incredible feeling in the world. But all during that time period, he was a terrific kid.
For a big, powerful, strong guy, you got such a sensitive, sweet voice. It doesn't fit your personality.
Robin was a very, seemed to be a very sweet girl, and I was delighted with the fact that he was getting married. I thought it'd be good for Mike, and but as soon as she got married, she called up and said, she's Mrs. Mike Tyson. I'm taking over. I want to see all the books and all the records.
If Michael has $50 million and he's supposed to have $70 million, there's a problem.
In a way, Robin and Ruth were like a football team. They, the mother-in-law had a game plan.
But the women, being shrewd and greedy and smart on the one side, the criminal smartness, they said to themselves, screw Don King, we don't need him. We don't need, we're going to have him, he's going to take our money. We don't need him, we're going to take all the money we can get now.
In 1988, once Mike got married, Robin, Givens, and Ruth, of course, were very interested in taking over Mike's career. It became very obvious when we were in Tokyo for the Tubbs fight.
We're flying home from Japan, I think it was a 13-hour flight, and Robin Givens gets up and announces to Bill Caton that I'm Mrs. Tyson now, and everything's got to go through me. So right then, that was the first sign that they were looking to take Tyson over.
2 days later, Tyson rushed to a New York hospital where his mentor, Jim Jacobs, lied dying. He didn't make it in time. Tyson never got to say goodbye.
I love Jacobs. He was a beautiful man. It was all teamwork, I believed, in my life. He was just awesome, man.
After Jim Jacobs died, we're all scheduled to fly out on a flight to LA for the funeral of Jim Jacobs. The flight was packed. And lo and behold, Don King comes walking down the aisleway to be on this particular flight. There were 20 flights a day to Los Angeles, but he picked this particular flight.
Greed reaches at the deepest core of people. It reaches deep at them, and they're fighting for me and stuff and all that crap. And then that made it easy for Don King to sneak in, and he used, and he got me good. He was pretty good. He was a very interesting individual.
Don King is a gangster from Cleveland. He murdered 2 people when he was running the numbers in Cleveland. One was ruled justifiable homicide. The other he did 3 years and 11 months in prison for. He came out of prison. I felt like Mike was kidnapped into the Don King cult and brainwashed.
Don is a master of finding a person's weakness. After the Spinks fight, Don King had Mike sign a promotional contract. And when Mike showed this contract to Robin, and Robin was quickly told by her lawyers that Don would be in position, as Mike's promoter, to take all the money before she could put her hands on it, she ostracized Don from Mike's life. She renegotiated with Bill Caton to keep Bill on as manager because she knew that every dollar that came in that Mike deserved, he would get.
I remember the turn and the hook. He hit me in the side of the head. And I went from one corner of the wall, bounced off that corner of the wall to another corner, and then I was out.
After the Spinks fight, there was the stormy summer of '88, the broken hand against Mitch Green, the affairs in Moscow at the hotels with ranting in the lobbies, the crack up of the car in Catskill, all because Robin is driving Mike crazy.
Michael is a manic depressive. He is. I mean, that's just a fact. It's been worse than anything I could possibly imagine. It's been pure hell. I've become afraid.
The next day, his friends in the street in Brooklyn, his homeboys, he called them, yo, what's up? And they tell him, Mike, she dissed you, man. You're the heavyweight champ. You're not crazy. He realized he'd been had. She believed he would never forgive her for ridiculing him in front of the entire world. And from that day on, it was history.
From her husband, the heavyweight champion Mike Tyson. And today, Marvin Mitchelson filed for a Givens divorce from Tyson.
2 days after Robin left Mike, he was baptized in Don King's church by Don King's minister, under Don King's rules.
Don King knows Tyson. He knows how to persuade Tyson. He knows how to dissuade Tyson. He manipulates Tyson outside the ring like a little boy.
All the things that were around Mike from Brooklyn, the hate, the racism, the con jobs, the contempt for everyone, the sly moves, they were put back on by Don King.
Kevin Rooney was a wonderful trainer for him. Kevin Rooney loved him. But Don King made him fire Kevin Rooney. And I think the day Tyson fired Kevin Rooney, there was a cap put on Mike Tyson's development as a fighter. He did not develop any more beyond that date. He was never in tip-top shape for any fight. After he fired Rooney, he stopped moving his head. He began to accept clinches. He started to jab less. You could see that under Don King, not only did his character and morals decline and erode, his boxing technique began to decline and erode.